video, I wanted to show you guys how to administer subcutaneous fluids in a dog. As you know, my dog Lucy has been suffering from kidney failure. Let me explain to you a little bit about what kidney failure means for a dog. It doesn't mean that they stop urinating. They do, and in fact, in a lot of cases, they will urinate more than if they weren't having this issue. What it means is that the kidneys have stopped working correctly. The kidney's function is to cleanse the blood. It removes toxins and impurities and things out of the blood and keeps the blood clean. So all of these blood tests that Lucy has had to have, they were checking the levels of toxins in her blood, basically. Well, her levels have continued to rise. The normal range for the particular number that they are looking for is, I think it's between 0 and 10. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I know it's supposedly a very low number. And her numbers have continued to rise. They were at the lowest point after she had been sent home from the hospital once she had been admitted for a week, because they had her on intravenous fluids the whole time that she was there. And it was flushing out the kidneys and it was flushing out the blood. The more the kidneys flush out, the more they function. So, and her levels were at 30 when she was released from the hospital, which was still above normal, but in a good range. I mean, it was acceptable. Well, at her last blood test, her range was in the 80s. I think it was like 82. And so that is why the vet determined that we needed to start giving her these intravenous, not intravenous because it's not in the vein, it's subcutaneous. It's between the skin and the muscle layer, in between there. That is why the vet said we needed to start doing those here at home. Touched on this just a little bit, the fact that the reason why this is so necessary is that it makes the kidneys function better. It makes them flush the body. Like I said, it's not that she's not peeing, it's that her kidneys are not purifying like they should. And if you force the kidneys to force liquid through them, then it will cause them to work better. So that is why we are having to do this with Lucy. Now, it will not cure her kidney disease, but it will sustain her life. It will give her a better quality of life and a longer life. The vet, like any doctor, is not willing to put a expiration date, as they say, on her. So he's not going to say, well, this will extend her life by a year or 2 years or whatever. But it will undoubtedly increase her life expectancy. And it will also give her a better quality of life. When her kidneys are not functioning properly, she does not feel well. One of the symptoms of kidney failure is nausea, vomiting, and loss of appetite and lethargy. And when she came home from the hospital, she was doing extremely well. But as time has gone on, as the weeks have gone by, she has gotten sicker and sicker again. Just not acting like herself, lethargic, not hungry. Well, she acts hungry, and then she won't eat the food that I give her. And she has been having some vomiting, but not horrible, not like when she was really, really sick. The vet did also say that a lot of times dogs with this condition become what's called chronic vomiters, and where they just vomit, not daily, but often. So time will tell how she does on this therapy. The vet did say that eventually we may be able to reduce her therapy sessions to once a day instead of twice a day. So that's what we're hoping for. So he sent us home. Of course, we had to pay for it, but with 2 bags of Normasol R, and it's 1,000 milliliters, and we have to give her 100 milliliters twice a day. So she gets 200 milliliters of fluid a day. And this is how it comes. It's in a sealed package because everything is completely sterile. They also sent us home with this tubing, which can be reused. I know eventually we will have to purchase more of this tubing because she will have to have this done for the rest of her life, more than likely. So I just keep the saline, it's not really saline because there's no sodium in it, the fluid, the IV fluid, I just keep it, the extras, in this basket. Now, at the vet, this bag, one bag, was $25, but we did find that Chewy.com sells the same exact stuff, same size bag, everything, for $10 a bag. So I purchased several bags of that from Chewy.com. They also sent us home with a bunch of needles that go on the tip of the tubing, and the needle will last for 4 sessions. After the 4th time it gets too dull, and so you have to change it out. And so we've got these, and we're going to be purchasing more of these online when we run out of them. I'm sure we can find them cheaper online. In this spray bottle we have some just plain rubbing alcohol and some cotton balls, because you have to clean the needle before and after each session with alcohol to keep her from, hopefully not getting sick. These little blue things, they sent us home with a whole bag of them, which I don't know if we'll even use them, but it's to go on the end of here if for some reason we run out of needles or whatever and we need to stop this up. We'll use one of these little blue things to keep the fluids from running out. So then on here, on my counter, this is in my office area, I put some of this shelf liner, this rubby shelf liner stuff, or they use it to keep rugs from skidding. I put that down first, and then I put a towel down, and this is to keep the towel from sliding around, because we'll be putting Lucy up here to administer the fluids. Just have a little extra toweling here for, for whatever. If we need to wipe something up. I have some wet ones. These are antibacterial, just to keep things nice and clean. Now the fluid needs to be warm before you administer it, just because it's more comfortable for the animal and they don't mind it as much. So you need to try to get the fluid to be body temperature, not room temperature. Okay, so a body temperature, a normal body temperature for a dog, you want this fluid to be anywhere from 98 to 100 degrees. And the way we do it, and we find that it works the best, is that we take a heat pad, we put it on high, and then we stick the IV bag and the tubing inside here, and then fold it over like a burrito, like that, and then we leave it for half an hour. And in a half an hour's time, this will come from room temperature, which is about 70 degrees, up to around 98 degrees. So and that's what this is for. This is a thermal heat sensor thing. See, this is 78 degrees right now. And I'll show you what it is once it's warmed up, what temperature it registers at. So I'm going to go ahead and get the IV fluid and the tubing all wrapped up in my burrito here so that it can be warming up. And then after that, I will show you what we do next. Scott rigged up this pulley system. It's over here hooked on a hook. Just unhook it and pull this down to hook the IV bag onto the little S hook and then you crank it up. I'll show you that when I have someone down here that could be filming, because you want the bag up high. The higher up it goes, gravity helps it go down, and the whole process is much quicker. I mean, the dog really does not suffer at all. After the initial pin prick of getting the needle in, it's not painful, but yet on the other hand, you don't want to stand here for 20 minutes waiting for 100 milliliters to flow into your dog. So you do want to get the bag up high so that gravity helps you. So let me, like I said, let me get this put into my burrito here. So like I said, I put this up on high. So you just put the IV bag inside. And you want to put all the tubing inside too, because there's fluid in the tubing that needs to be warmed as well. And then I take the actual heat pad, which is this part here, and I fold that over to the on top so that the fluid is inside. There's warmth on the bottom and the top of the IV bag. And then you just wrap it up like a burrito. So there it is. It's all wrapped up like a burrito. And we will let this sit here for a half hour while it warms up. Okay, so I just took it out of the heat warm burrito, and you have to kind of shake it up a little bit. And so it's at 99, so it's just perfect. I'm going to stick it back in the burrito till we get the dog down here, and then we'll show you how to actually do the infusion. Okay, so the fluid is at a nice warm temperature, so you're going to take this pulley down and hook the bag onto it, and then pull it up. And you can have yours set up however you want it or need it at your home. And then what you need to do is make sure that the cord or the tubing is completely untangled. You don't want any knots or kinks in it. It's just like a hose in a garden hose. So what you need to do is you need to pull the cover off of the needle and then get some alcohol on a cotton swab and clean the needle really well, and don't drop the cotton swab, because everything needs to be very clean. Okay, stop it. So what you're looking for is this scruff of their neck right here. You kind of go where their legs are, and this fatty spot right here on their neck, and you pinch it up till it's kind of like a tent, and you want to go right under your thumb but not into the muscle, and you just take the needle and you go straight in. Okay, and you want it to be all the way up to the hub, and then you turn the crank on, and you not watch that the thing is dripping. Now we are giving her 100 milliliters, so it needs to go down to the 7. And you just want to make sure that it's dripping good, the stream, and as it drips, it'll drip faster. And then you just want to you don't have to put pressure on the needle. You just want to make sure it can't come out. She doesn't fight. She's just shaking because she's nervous. And while the fluid is going in, it'll create like a humpback. She'll look like a hunchback right here. And you just want to very, very gently massage the area so that the fluid gets dispersed evenly into her body. And you're definitely going to need 2 people to do this. See there, the needle started to come out. You're going to definitely need 2 people to do this. 1 person to hold the dog,
and the other person to do the sticking. We need a holder and a sticker. So yeah, you noticed there, I don't know if you saw that, but a little bit of the fluid started to come out, and that's because the needle started to come out. So you do definitely need to hold the needle in place. And you need to check the bag every so often. It's almost down to the 7, so we're getting close to being done. Did you shut it off? Oh, okay. So, yep, it's down to the 7. So when it gets down to the 7, you crank the wheel on that, and that stops everything. So then the last thing you need to do before the doggy is done is you need to take your fingers and you need to pinch gently right where the needle is at, and then pull it out and hold pressure there, because otherwise the liquid will seep back out. And you just need to apply pressure just for a few seconds, just like if you were drawing blood or doing any other kind of a needle prick. And she's nervous because she doesn't like it. I mean, it does, after the initial pin prick, it really doesn't hurt. It just doesn't, she just doesn't like it. I wouldn't like it either. But you're a good girl, Lucy. Good job. Good job, baby. Good job. Okay, you can take her up. And then the last thing you need to do is just take another cotton ball with some more alcohol and clean the needle again. Put the safety cover back on it. So that's all there is to it, to give an animal subcutaneous fluids. I hope you found this video helpful. I did this video mainly for those people searching on YouTube or searching on the internet on how to do subcutaneous fluids, because when I found out that I was going to have to do this to Lucy, that's exactly what I did. I wanted to know what I was getting myself into or what it was all about, and quite honestly, it is not a big deal at all. I was very nervous about sticking her with that needle, but it goes right in, and as long as you keep everything clean and as long as you change the needles frequently and keep them nice and sharp and make sure the fluid is warm, then it goes really smoothly. Lucy is a very good dog. She's very patient. She's always taken injections well, so I do have that to be thankful for. Thanks so much for watching, friends, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.